Welcome to Ever After, a Once Upon a Time podcast, Season 2, Episode 13, Tiny.
Did you almost say Season 1?
Yes.
That was a tiny mistake.
Yeah.
In this episode, Cora brings the giant to Storybrooke. Meanwhile, Emma and Henry join Mr. Gold to search for his son, and Greg asks Belle what she saw on the night of his accident. I'm your host, Molly Southgate, and with me is...
Martha Southgate.
And...
Rob Southgate.
Okay, liked this one much better.
I like it a lot.
This was awesome.
All right. I thought this was awesome, too.
Yeah.
We had some giant action, which is always good.
We did.
Of course you did. It's a giant show.
So, what do you want to talk about here? What was your favorite part, Molly?
I liked everything.
Which storyline do you want to start with?
Storybrooke.
But do you want to talk about Rumple, Emma, and Henry going on their trip?
Yes, I like that.
Okay, so Rumpelstiltskin picks up Emma and realizes he's also picking up Henry because Emma said she wouldn't leave him behind.
Right.
With Cora running
Could you imagine?
Right, with Cora running around, that could be a bad scene.
So, and Charming asks Rumple to take care of his family, and Rumpelstiltskin says, because you're gonna kill me if I don't, what are you gonna do? And he said, no, just because I would be devastated.
Yeah, I'm just asking
if anything ever happened to them. And so they sort of had this moment of niceness.
Oh, you know what I loved? Rumpelstiltskin, did you say that quote?
No.
Rumpelstiltskin said to David, what are you gonna do to me? Cross the line and become David Nolan and hunt me down in your little animal rescue?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
That was funny.
So when they get to the airport, I loved this scene. Okay. So they're going through custom or like check-in.
Yeah.
Whatever that's called, where you have to take off your shoes.
Right.
What's that? Custom? No, it's not custom.
No, it's just check-in.
It's like the TSA.
Yes.
What's a TSA?
Security.
You don't
Security check-in.
Transport
Security Association.
Authority.
Authority, whatever.
Okay, whatever.
Transit Security Authority.
Okay, we're going with that. Okay. So he has to take off his scarf. They said you have to take off your shoes and your scarf and put your cane. No, he had to take off the shawl. They don't call it a shawl because no men in America right now
they call it a scarf.
Shawls.
Except for me right now.
They called it a scarf. And he had to take off his shoes, his scarf, and his cane. Right. And put them in the bin.
And he was quite irritated by this.
His shawl, what if he loses his memory?
Right.
But Emma made sure he didn't.
Yeah, but how could she make sure? Because when he came off, he did start to wig out a little bit. It was going, making that weird whoop, whoop, whoop sound.
How do you know how long it takes? How do you know how long it takes?
Yeah.
Before he would lose his memory.
And he was kind of falling through the gate, and she grabbed the shawl and put it back on him when she could.
Yes.
But that could have wiped out his memory.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? What would you have done if you were Emma in that situation? Rumpelstiltskin has a lot of power in Storybrooke, and he doesn't use it for good most of the time.
I would have grabbed the shawl immediately, put it on him.
Would you, Rob?
I actually would have. Because it's the deal you made, and it would be unfair to do that. Well, I mean, if you take that away...
Know.
Yeah, but everyone else would know that you didn't do it.
I'm just saying, wouldn't everybody else throw a party?
I don't know. I don't know. Plus, he's got magic that could be very useful to help people out back there.
I'm just saying, she had a bit of a conundrum.
Yes, she did. But she put the shawl on.
I would have put the shawl on him also, but I'm just saying, it does make you stop and think, should she?
Yes.
But anyway, so what I wanted to say about this scene was how much when the security agent says to Rumpelstiltskin to put the cane and all that through, and he says, haven't you ever been on a plane before? And Rumpelstiltskin says to him, have you ever been impaled on a cane before?
And Emma says, sorry, my father's a little irritated.
She says it's her father.
And he looks at her and says, Father?
Right. Yep.
He says, I'm not your father. Like, father?
Yeah, well,
Like,
he's
all
definitely out of sorts here.
Like, disgusted, like, father?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's very antsy. They're waiting for their plane, and he's just not sitting still. He can't sit down. She says, are you okay? Stop asking me if I'm okay. You know, and he's freaking out. So, where did he go?
He went to the bathroom.
And what did he do?
Here comes my favorite line that I said.
Okay.
I said, I hope he knows what to do in there when he got into the stall.
You think he doesn't have to go to the bathroom in Storybrooke?
No.
But Rumpelstiltskin would just go in the woods.
Ew.
So, maybe.
No way.
But he can't he punches the wall.
No, he doesn't. He punches those sanitary toilet paper things.
I was being nice.
And you know what I wrote?
What?
Rumpelstiltskin hates those sanitary paper things. Sanitary. I'm Canadian. Maybe I haven't mentioned that. He punches
that, and he hurts his hand, and then he tries to do magic, and his magic doesn't work there.
Right.
He goes, he puts his hand across it.
I could teach him the magic of wipes, wet wipes.
I put on here, that's going to hurt for a while.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't really had to ever deal with anything like that.
That's going to hurt, Rump.
Okay. Rumpy.
He gets on the plane then. Okay, they're all three on the airplane.
Uh-huh.
And Rumpelstiltskin is freaking out. You can tell he's freaking out. He does not like to be out of control.
Well, and think about it. They've been in Storybrooke. None of them have been on a plane before.
And he is sitting there having to rely on the pilot and the mechanics of the plane and the weather and everything else. And he has no control over anything.
And he has no magic.
And he's freaking out. He's not doing well. So that'll be fun.
Wait till he tastes that plane food.
Episode. Okay. So what do you guys want to talk about next? Rob?
You know what? I want to talk about
Jack!
Yes. I want to talk about Jack and the Giant and that whole thing.
Okay, so fairy tale.
Yes.
Start us out.
Well, first of all, we see the Giant with his brothers. And it's called Tiny because he's the littlest one.
He's like the runt.
He's so much smaller than the other ones.
Or it's dwarf.
Spoiler. But he's a lot smaller. And they're kind of mean to him. They kind of pick on him. And he's like really interested in the humans. In fact, you see him with his little gold harp, and the one brother crushes it. Oops, you know.
Mm-hmm.
No, he doesn't say oops. He says it's not too much fun.
Okay, so he
probably says oops.
He probably says
after that.
No, he doesn't. He did not say oops.
We agree to disagree.
So Hurley, that's the Giant. Now I kept calling him Hurley.
His name's Anton.
Hurling Anton.
He's Hurley from Lost.
Yes, he leaves.
Can I call him Hurling Anton?
No, we'll call him Anton. So he leaves, or Tiny. He leaves.
Oh my gosh, how many times are you going to say he leaves? We got that.
He exits.
There we go.
And goes down the beanstalk to check out the humans.
Well, you failed to mention they're having a feast. And I love a good feast. He and his brothers.
Imagine the size of that feast.
No, I noticed that they're vegan.
What?
They had bread and vegetables. They had no meat on the table because it was harvest time.
They don't have giant livestock up there.
No, he just said it was harvest time, and they got all their veggies. They were having their veggie feast. I think they had other things. They had figs and some other things. But
they don't have animals that are giant size. So like a cow would be just a little
How did they get full on veggies?
Huh.
They must eat a heck of a lot of bread.
Yeah.
Because they're big guys.
Well, there's lots of things. They could make veggie korma. That's a dish they could make. They could grill portobello mushrooms like their burgers. I know so much about this.
Okay. So anyway, they're having a feast.
I bet they make sausages and things. We just didn't see it here.
No, they didn't have any meat on the table.
Yeah, but here we didn't see it. Yeah. I bet they go down and steal cows and stuff.
That's probably what it is. But at this feast, it was a vegan feast.
Yes.
Unless there was dairy in the bread, but I doubt it.
Okay, enough.
Oh, just make it stop.
So
He leaves.
Wait, no.
Exit.
They said the humans must not know that they still grow the beans. And Anton says, even though we don't use them.
Right.
So they're growing them because that's their job.
Right.
But they're not using them.
Well, this was an interesting thing he said, too. You know, we're led to believe that these were the giants. He killed all the giants. That was it. But his brother said if they got a hold of these beans, they could go to the other realms.
Yes.
Now, they're saying other realms, we're supposed to assume, where the humans are, where Wonderland is.
No, I was thinking there are lots of giant
I was
lands.
thinking there is
this
more.
This is one family.
Right. That's what I was thinking is, if it's like a thing in the clouds, what if there's another area with more giants? Even though we're led to assume they're all dead, we could have more giants going around.
Each family must have their own.
Yes.
It's like having their own farm or something.
Right.
Like everyone has their own plot of land.
Right.
But it happens to be up in a cloud.
Right. Imagine what happens when those giants eat beans.
So,
the
gross.
Musical fruit.
The more you eat, the more you toot.
Is that thunder or nope? Tiny ate the beans.
So Tiny leaves down the beanstalk. He goes down with the magic harp.
Yes.
And what happens?
He doesn't go down with a magic harp.
Yes, he did.
The harp was ruined by his brother.
He brought it.
There was nothing with a magic harp.
He did.
So he goes down and he looks
the harp
in.
wasn't even magic. Oh no.
He looks in on the humans that are inside the bar. Now at the same time,
I loved that.
Yeah,
they showed his eyeball through the window, and his one eye was almost as big as the whole.
Right. And then he pulled back, and you saw both. Right. But at the same time, we saw David's brother, what's his name? James, with some chickie poo. And the king comes in and is like, I don't care who the chickie poo is.
We do.
Off with her head. And
what?
She said, and he goes, we've got a giant running loose and you've got to do something. And the girl says, ooh, I've always wanted to kill a giant.
Yeah.
So then they meet up with Tiny.
Anton.
And I can say Tiny.
What else?
And they pretend they're his friends.
Oh, yeah.
And they give him Mushroom from Wonderland.
Well, Jack does. His girlfriend, she says, my name is Jacqueline, but people call me Jack, which made us freak out because she's Jack the Giant Killer.
Right, now we know.
Well, I put both because technically you can say either one.
Yeah. I used to say Slayer now, and you corrected me and said Slayer, and now we're going.
All your corrections have now come back at you.
Yeah. So she is the one who says, I have this mushroom from another land.
Yeah.
Well, we know that's Wonderland.
And she also said she killed a Jabberwocky there.
Yeah.
And I thought it was Alice, but then she was bratty.
Yeah, there was an absence of Alice here.
So James and Jack bring Anton into the pub. Now they've made him normal, human size. And James leaves him alone with Jack. And she asks him if he has any magic beans, because she tells him they owe all this money to other kingdoms.
But this is all a ploy.
Well, she's lying.
This is all a ploy.
And he offers
because they want him to go back up, and they want to follow it.
And they know that, here you're being nice to me. Yes, I want to live here. Okay, in order to do that, I want to take care of you guys. So he offers treasure to pay off the kingdom's debt.
Right.
And then up he goes back.
Yep, he goes back up. He's taking the gold. His brother, who is Coob from Parker Lewis Can't Lose, he comes in. And
we got Coob, Hurley.
Coob and Hurley. And he's like, what are you doing? And he says, I'm running away to be with the humans, and I'm taking this gold to save their land. And the guy goes, all of a sudden you hear, what was it, like a, and he goes, wait a minute. That means there's intruders on our land.
Yeah.
They go out, and it's
Jack.
John and Jack.
James and
Jack.
And Jerry. And they came up the beanstalk.
Tom and Jerry were not there.
They came up the beanstalk, and he's like, hey.
Ooh, I want Tom and Jerry.
Guys, I got the gold. We're friends, right? And they're like, yeah, we're not friends. We want the beans.
Yeah, they're not there for the treasure, although he takes a buttload of it.
And then he takes a buttload of that treasure. So what do they do? What do they do? Well, what did those James and Jack do?
Kill all the giants.
Yes,
they killed all of Anton's brothers.
Swords. They kill them all, and they kill Coob. And just as they kill Coob, as Jack kills Coob, he takes the same sword and he kills Jack. No, Coob.
Well, we don't know his name on the show.
We're calling him Cooby.
Right, but the other people, he does have a name.
But he kills Jack.
Coober.
Or he stabs her. And then she's like, James, you can save me. And he's like, you know what? I got other things to do. Because he's just stealing the money.
He's a really bad guy.
a dirt ball.
Well, and Anton's brother, as he's dying, he tells Anton to destroy the beans to protect the lands.
Right.
And then...
Well, no, before he's dying, he told him to do that.
Whatever. So
but now he's dying, and he says, I did it.
And then he gives him the little vial that has the little
And Coob gives him a vial and says, you can regrow, at some point.
Yes.
Okay. So we know what happens after that, because in the other episode, Emma and Hook go up there, and you see everybody's dead, and Tiny's alone.
Yes.
So
okay.
now
we're with Snow and Charming.
Yes.
Snow and Charming go out to look
Like
for
my
Cora, and Regina's at their door. They don't get very far.
Yeah.
She wants to see Henry, and they have to tell her that he's left town. So
Yep.
how does she feel about that?
Very upset.
Well,
And
of
she's like,
course, because she's still thinking of Henry as her son, right?
yeah, but he's not really your son.
But
Yeah, but she raised him this whole time, and she's trying to change for him,
and
right?
she doesn't appreciate that they wouldn't even tell her. They could have at least said, they're going on a trip with Mr. Oh no, I guess they couldn't, because she'd freak, and she wouldn't let them go.
True.
She would find a way to stop them. So
Of course
they
she
really
would.
had to do,
Because
they
it's
had
all
to be
weird,
sneaky.
and she hates Gold, and...
But she doesn't hate gold.
So
Oh, she's not friends with Mr. Gold.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
So Hook is taking Grumpy, Leroy, I like to call him Grumpy though, Grumpy, Snow, and Charming to the ship.
Uh-huh.
And Grumpy asked if they can sail the ship back to their land because he wants to go back so
Right.
Uh-huh.
but they need a portal.
Well, he's a big man back there in Enchanted Forest. Get it, dwarf, big man? Thank you.
I do not like
The
that.
giant is there sleeping in a cage, and they show him. That was interesting. Any thoughts on that? Snow wakes him up.
Right.
And
Well, they
find
said
out-
Cora brought the giant back and shrunk him down, as Dreamy says, to travel size.
Yeah.
And they let him out, and they're trying to be friends with him, and then he sees David.
And he goes
nuts.
Uh-huh.
Now, at the time, we didn't know why, but in the other story, we find out because his brother, James,
Yeah.
was party to killing all the giants. And he thought that David was James because they're twins.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What do you think of that, Mo?
I don't know.
All right.
Okay. Well, Regina meets up with Hook. He's supposed to be meeting Cora, and she goes in her place.
She also says that she and Cora are reconciled.
Yes, and Cora
Not
sent
good.
her to see if they found the ship. Regina's happy there's a giant in town who wants to kill the prince.
Right.
Of
So
course she is.
she finds Anton and gives him the cake from Wonderland.
That'll make
Actually,
it
they
good.
said it was another piece of mushroom.
No, it was a blue frosted
Right,
cake.
but she said it's a piece of mushroom.
It
But
had mushroom in the blue frosted cake.
okay, but it looked like
Where-
blue frosting, right?
Okay, we were both gonna agree because it had mushroom in the cake
And frosting.
and frost.
Looks like
So-
it's an ever after cage match.
She wants him to take out Charming and the whole town. She
Right.
doesn't care if he takes out everybody in the town.
What? I thought she was trying
Which-
to refrain.
So
Which led to one of my favorite
go
moments.
for it.
When he's going crazy as the giant and he starts chasing them. He's chasing David and Snow.
I just wanted to say, first, Charming catches up to him and tries to explain his story and say,
Right.
I am not
I'm not
You
James.
hate James,
Right.
not me. You hate my twin brother.
Right.
And so you're missing a really funny part because Snow says, Emma's our daughter, and we know you know her. And he says, well, where is she? If she's here, she can vouch for you, and I'll let you live. And she says, yeah, she's kind of out of town.
Yeah, then he gets all upset. Why is everybody not here?
Right.
Oh,
And
you
then
guys are
everybody just
screwing around with
lies.
me. And
So
Yeah.
now you can go into
then we
your-
get my favorite part.
Yes.
Because he starts chasing them and they're running and they're like, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And in the background, you see him running down the street and then he gets like caught up in the power lines.
Yes.
He's like, ah! I thought that
big
was
mouth.
awesome. It was
He
awesome.
doesn't look like nuts.
No.
And Charming offers his life if Anton will spare everyone else's.
Right.
And Anton agrees, but then he fell into that hole. It was like a
Uh-huh.
portal.
Well, yeah, he stomped.
It had the purple smoke.
No,
the
right,
mouth.
but it wasn't.
Oh,
The
I'm
purple,
telling you.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
That
I'm
cage
fine.
match.
We're
The
going to find
purple
out.
smoky stuff was the spell wearing off and making him small again.
It was
That's
making
what
him
that was.
small again, and it was also a sign that it was a portal.
No,
Thank you.
it was not a
Yes.
portal. If
It
it was
was
a
a
portal, they
portal.
would have said there's another way back.
There might be. They
But
didn't
there
try
wasn't because they were excited that he could grow beans.
It. Yes.
So it's not a portal.
I just think no one thought of it but us. So they
Yeah.
have to,
Because it's not what
Yeah.
it is.
they have to
Because
help.
it is what it is.
They have to help Anton get out of this thing now.
Yes.
So
Uh-huh.
Charming lowers himself down there, and at first Anton refuses his help, but because he doesn't want to go back to Storybrooke because they're mean.
Right.
But they got him out anyway, And then they're all buddies.
Oh, I love it when he says, "You saved my life," and Snow says, "Yeah, that's kind of what we do."
Mm-hmm. It's true, except for Regina.
Right.
So Grumpy and the whole crew bring Anton to Granny's, and they offer him a room and all that. And he says, "No, I think I'm going to just sleep out in the woods. I'd be better off by myself." But he tells them about the bean
He's
cutting.
like your grandma. She's crazy. She likes to slip out in the woods.
She does. She wants to sleep out in my clubhouse.
Yep. Crazy.
So they take him to a field.
Asteria, she actually told me that.
And they, he says Cora's going to be an issue because she's...
Right. He's going to grow the beans.
She wants these beans.
Right. And they said, we'll deal with her. But, it was the dwarves, though, were like, yeah, we can handle it.
Okay, so what happened with the dwarves in this scene?
They handed him an axe.
Yes.
And it said Tiny.
Yeah, because their names appear on it, and it said Tiny.
James said, I'm sorry, James isn't it. Charming said, "Hey, my axe. You guys never gave me an axe."
Right. But what? No, he said...
Something
he did
like
say
that.
He was the whole point.
Yeah, I did.
When he picked up the axe, it said Tiny on it. And he says, how come when I used an axe down there, it didn't give me a name?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
And what did they say?
They said, because you're not a dwarf.
Right. Tiny
is a dwarf
giant. Yes.
And so the dwarves have given up mining, and what is their new occupation?
To protect the beans.
They're going to be farmers.
I thought it was dwarf wrestling.
Right?
So
they're going to
awesome.
farm those beans.
Once they're done farming the beans,
then they get to go home.
And they also have to protect them. And they got big axes. I'm not going to go near the beans at all with those.
But
they got big axes.
Cora's pretty powerful.
Well, the dwarves want to go back.
But they can tear her heart out with their huge axes.
And Charming wants to go back. But what does Snow say about it?
Does Snow want to go back? She liked their adventure that day.
Uh-huh.
But
who wouldn't?
But what happens when...
She doesn't really want to go back.
Why not?
Because they've already kind of settled in here.
Right, but more than settled in.
What would happen if they went back? Who would they miss?
Who wouldn't go?
Emma and Henry.
Well, Henry probably would, but Emma wouldn't want to go.
Uh-huh.
And I doubt Henry would without his mom, but Henry, I think, would be more open to it. Emma's not going to want to go to their land.
Emma's not going to want to live there with ogres and everything.
Right.
And no...
When she's already been there and was like attacked.
And besides, she's like a princess, so she has to wear fancy dresses and so she would not like that.
There's no castle. There's nothing left for them except that all that broken down stuff. And she's used to all of the modern conveniences.
No more iPad.
No more cars, electronics.
No more Netflix.
No more lights and all that. I mean, like they're not. It's very rustic.
Henry won't want to go back because there's no more Cinnabon.
Right. So, last but not least,
yes,
we have Ruby.
Yes,
goes to visit Belle.
Oh, I forgot about
in the hospital, and she brings her a book, and she tells her, we were really good friends. You told me how much you loved this
Jules Verne.
Jules Verne, and so I bring
you're like
this
stumbling over.
Well, I
Jules
know who
Verne.
it was,
and she says, "I brought my favorite Mysterious Island," which made me wonder. Could Mysterious Island...
Could they take the ship to Mysterious Island?
Yes. Could that be a location for part of a season?
And
please let it happen.
And Belle asks Ruby to tell her the truth about Rumpelstiltskin's magic, and she won't. And she denies it, and Belle goes nuts.
Right.
She was nuts at everything.
She's really ringing her bell.
I like old Belle.
I like old Belle better, too.
Yeah, I'm tired of this Belle.
Ding dong, this Belle can die.
No,
that's my headline.
What?
She just needs to get her memory back. So what happens is the Greg, the other patient there that saw the magic, he goes to see Belle, and he tells her that he saw the magic too.
Right.
She's not crazy.
Yep.
And now we wait.
Dun 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 dun!
Yes, can't wait for the next episode.
And so
song.
So.
All right.
All right. That's it. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Wow. I can't wait to see what happens next. Do you think Tiny's going to be a regular character now?
Uh-huh.
I love it. I love Tiny being there.
They better have a lot of mushrooms.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot of mushrooms for him. Let's say that again.
They better have a lot of mushrooms.
Yeah, no kidding.
Uh-huh.
What if it wears off?
Well, I suppose during the day and night, like during certain
Well, they didn't use mushroom to make him small. She used magic, not a mushroom.
No.
She did use a
Because the mushroom that made him big wore off, but the tiny one hasn't worn off on him. So
I
she
don't
did
know.
something else.
We'll see. But he could be big in the woods and then just shrink down when he needs to come into town.
Is a tiny big in the woods? Gross. All right.
Do you mean
I
like-
wouldn't want to have to bury his poop in the woods, though.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
If he
no
was
thanks.
a giant, they might have an issue. Although it would be good fertilizer for all the beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ew. All right.
All right,
Oh,
enough of
yes.
that trash.
Oh,
Can you
enough
finish
of-
us out?
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find past episodes of this and all of our other podcasts at our website, which is...
www.southgatemediagroup.com.
You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. Just look for Ever After Podcast on Facebook. You can find us on Tumblr under Southgate Media Group /tumblr.com. Find a board for this on Pinterest. In fact, we just did some updating today, and there'll be more and more stuff going on there, which is a lot of fun. And find us on iTunes. Find us on Stitcher. Rate us, review us. It helps us, and it helps other people find our show. The more, the merrier, right?
Yep.
All leading up to season 4, which
Elsa
by the end of summer,
Elsa and Anna.
and Kristoff or whatever.
And Kristoff.
by the end
Right.
of summer, we should be there. We
I
should be
hope his
caught up.
reindeer comes in.
Mhm.
Oh, if they enter Olaf in later season, I'm gonna freak out.
How are they going to have a snowman on it? It's not animated.
You never know. All right, that's it. Thanks again for
Well,
listening,
Gus
everybody.
Wasn't a mouse in it, so he
So
could.
Henry's gonna build a Do you want to build a snowman?
Henry's gonna sing it,
The worst
and
version ever. There's 8 million versions out there. That was the
I
worst
know,
one.
so.
Do you want
The
to
goats
build
were
a
better at that.
snowman?
Ah! Okay, we're done. Thanks for listening, everybody. Now let's end this the way every great fairy tale ends.
Happily ever after.
The end.
If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.